Welcome to episode 83 of Ring Talk. Myself, Martin Theobald. We're going to have Steve come join us shortly. Just to let you know what we've got coming up, we're going to have a look at the phenomenal show from Saturday night at York Hall, the November Nightmare Show. We're going to have a look over the Joshua card this coming weekend. There are 3 new signings that Steve's got to announce. My weekly rant. Bailey Donald is going to be with us. He's recorded a piece to introduce himself. There's the Trevorism, which I've had a spoiler about, which is special. Quickfire quiz with John Briggs, who, for those that don't know, John has been a writer, is a boxing historian, knows all about boxing. There's the betting zone where Steve's bet has gone through because he found out today the fight's been cancelled, so we'll make that one up. And then there's a Q&A at the end. So it's going to be the last one of this year, so thank you to everyone that's tuned in throughout 2019, and enjoy the rest of the show. Right, and welcome with Steve. How are you?
Last one before next week, and we head to New York next week.
Yeah, so. Well, you got a busy week, haven't you? You're cruising and then flying.
Cruising on the wherever we are going. We're going on to the Christmas market in Belgium, and a few of us going away.
That's pretty awesome.
And that should be really good for 2 or 3 days, and then we get back, and then we jump on the plane to New York to join you and your lovely wife and Richard Comey and Mickey and everybody else.
Go and see Richard retain his world title.
That's what we hope.
Yeah, I spoke with Trevor actually. Speaking of Trevorisms, as we just introduced on Saturday, he said he's looking forward to the cruise because I think in his words it will be a really good piss up. so if you've got anything in mind, then it'll be that. So let's crack on with a review of Saturday night and looking at it holistically, not individually. To start with, is it the best show you've ever put on? I say you, I mean Goodwin boxing.
Yeah, I would honestly say, and I'm not exaggerating. For me, it was the best show I've ever been to, and I've been to world title fights in Madison Square Garden. I've been to Klitschko's. I've been to Eubank Ben in Manchester 20 odd years ago, which was a great night. But I've never been, for me, that was the best show I've ever been to. And you look at some of the clips and the crowd going mad, it was amazing. And hopefully we're going to do more of them next year like that.
Yeah. I've not seen York Hall like that.
Neither have I. It was amazing, wasn't it?
In terms of, there are isolated moments at York Hall over time where I've seen it like that. But to have that consistent energy throughout the whole night was phenomenal.
Well done to all the boxers, to everybody that put it on, to Josh who promoted. It was just, I loved it. Yeah. I just thought it restored my love of boxing, I suppose. That when you have all the trials and tribulations, and I've had some since, I think it's a great, and the ones before. But when you have a night like that, you think this is why we do it.
It makes dealing with some of the scumbags worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was recording my own podcast at the weekend, and I think I said, not that it refills my love of boxing. I'm in a bit of a downer with boxing in general at the moment, but it topped it up. Topped up my reserves of where I want to be.
This is what you like. I mean, you like small hall boxing. Well, not all. I don't think you like all small hall boxing.
No,
some of it's shit, right? You like good small hall boxing, and it was what it was.
It was phenomenal.
It was phenomenal, and I was so pleased for some of those. The emotion, and we'll talk about that when we go for individually. But it was just
there were some spine-tingling moments.
Wasn't it?
When I look back now, still make my spine tingle a bit. So
remember that before we go on, a lot of these fights are going to go on YouTube. So tune into the show, because they're going to be over the next 2 to 3 weeks, especially over Christmas. We're going to add some fights on, so you can watch some of these amazing fights. Yeah, and there'll be commentary on them by Adam Thorne of Southpaw Jab, who I had the pleasure to spend a bit of time with. Really nice bloke. Jamie Spate jumped on the mic. At one point, he jumped on the mic and he'd still got his glove on. He'd literally come from fighting to come straight up, and Marcus, bless him, who does the filming, was absolutely bricking it because his microphones are worth quite a lot of money, and Jamie's there cupping it in a glove. I think Jamie's a man of many talents. He's actually, talk about Jamie Spate, he's actually getting his trainer's license now. He'll make a brilliant trainer. He will. He's going to make a brilliant trainer. He could be, if somehow we can help him, and his location's a problem.
Yeah.
But if he's able to juggle it, we're able to sort something out for him, he could become one of the country's leading trainers, Jamie Spate. Sounds crazy, but I really believe it.
No, I would agree with that entirely, based upon his knowledge, his enthusiasm, and his character. just those three things, if you merge them together, there can't be many people who can match him for those. Right, so we're going to crack on individually with the fights. And we're going to start off with Dalton Miller against Dwayne Green.
Open the show. Dalton boxed the best he's boxed for a long time. He's getting a run together now. He's won 4 and drawn 1 of his last 6. He's now getting in the zone to be competing for Southern Area title. I think he's going to come out and do a 6-rounder in March, and there's no doubt Dalton will get his Southern Area shot next year.
Good. And with Dalton, I mean this with the greatest of respect, but do you have to be slightly careful about how you plot the timing of where he would go for Southern Area?
Yeah. I want to give him the best possible option that he can have, and that's the same for all of our fighters. And for example, I'll give you 2 examples. If Linus Udoka was Southern Area champion,
exactly, that's
or
what
Brad Pauls who's current, I'm not going to put Linus in with them. They are way above.
Yeah.
That
I didn't mean it to be disrespectful to
No, but Dalton, I'm not saying he couldn't put up a good fight. The point is why, when he's going to have one shot at it, give him something where on paper he has a better chance.
Yeah. Jordan Dujon.
Mickey Amuse, a fighter, done really well. Beat Paul Cummings. He's an exciting fighter, Jordan. I think he'll be the next in the machine of the Mickey Amuse managed fighters that win titles.
I was chatting with Mickey for a while on Saturday. And it's something that we posed before on here about how and where does he find some of the talents, and like what's his sifting process, and just his energy for the sport is so good. In that he's down there Saturday night to see Jordan Dujon, who's 2-0, to see Ryan Walker fight for Southern Area, and then we were chatting about Ramez Mahmood, Southern Area champion, Richard Comey, world champion, Duke Mika, soon to be potential world champion, and he was just saying that when he's gone back to Ghana and found some of these talents, there's so many kids partaking in the sport, but he's looking for that something that matches his own fighting ability. And when I say fighting ability, I don't mean with his fist, but his ability to fight in life and grind out opportunities for himself. And that's what he's, as well as the ability to box, is that little something in their makeup. But yeah, I'd love to get Mickey on in 1 week when he's back in the
No, we'll get back after. Well, maybe beginning part of January, I'll get him on.
Yeah, he'd be a fascinating chat. Mo Garrett beat Lee Devine.
Yeah, Mo dropped Lee Devine. Mo's not far away now. He's 6-1 now, and Mo's a Southern Area challenger in the waiting. I think we're going to do one more, and then we're going to have a look.
Yeah. Liam Shinkwin beat Jamie Spate again. Dropped him.
Former Southern Area champion Liam. He's had 2 now fights on the comeback trail. He's going to have it. He's going to get for a title shot next year.
Yeah.
So then we'll, I think he's building towards that. That's what he wants. One more crack at a title, and then see how far he can go.
Yeah. I was chatting with Jamie afterwards, and he spoke highly of Liam. When he knocked him down, it was a bit of a flash knockdown. I don't think Jamie was particularly hurt, but he spoke highly of Liam. Denis Dinkashev beat Lee Connolly.
I like Dennis.
Yeah.
I think he's great.
He looks so young, doesn't he?
So talented. He is so talented. I really rate him.
Yeah.
I think he's a little golden nugget. And I think we just got to press a button when he's ready. But when we press that button, it'll explode.
There's a lot of good about him.
He's got everything.
Where's he from, Dennis?
He is from Lithuania.
So does that limit what titles he's going to be able to fight for?
No, he's been based in the UK long enough to fight for Southern Area and English.
So he's eligible to go down that route.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. Dana Zagso.
Love Dana.
For Daryl Sharp.
Dana is another one with limited experience before he turned over. When he fought Daryl Sharp, I said to Dana, and he hits, I said, don't hurt your hands on his head, because he hits so hard, and Dana has had hand trouble. So, but he got through the fight. The most important thing I was checked after the fight was how were his hands. His hands are fine, so we're going to be good to go again in March. We just need to build him, gain the experience, and before we launch him on titles. I think he could win a title even now against the right opponent, but I'd rather him build up a bit more, because I think he could be exceptional.
He's very cool in the ring, Dana. Doesn't rush anything.
No, I think he's great. He's got everything. He's got everything.
Tom Ansell picked up a win against Carl Turney, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Tom's building back after his 2 wins now after his loss to Chris Adderway at the Copper Box.
Yeah.
you know, Tom again had limited experience, doing a great job with Tony Peel. I think he's improving. And next year's got to be a title year for him, without a doubt. But again, we try and find the right opportunities, because the secret is, even the world champions, some people that are world champion, you don't realise they're navigated to avoid the superstars to get their world title, and I think that's very, very important.
And even if it's not the superstars they're avoiding, then it's people with the wrong style or the wrong
you've got to be smart. But Tom next year is title year for him.
Yeah, I think for Tom, he's probably going to have the biggest struggles in the ring against movers. I think someone who wants to stand and trade with him, he'd have a field day with.
Yeah, so you're not going to put Tom in with the super slick amateur boxer who's fought for the GB squad.
Yeah.
That's all wrong for him, because so you've just got to be smart. But he's got the talent to win titles.
Yeah.
So we've just got to build him the right way.
One of your favourites, your pet projects, Ellis Zorro.
It's great.
Picked up the win.
It's great. I mean, he had to do a different fight this time. He took on Kalinowski, and but this time it wasn't the devastating power, because you're not going to stop Kalinowski. So, but it was just, I was really impressed in how his shot selection was and how he's maturing as a fighter. And it's just a case of keep on building. Ellis is now getting a bit itchy feet for a southern area.
Yeah.
I spoke to him. I understand that. He thinks he can win the southern area now. And, you know, I think he's itching for that next year. So I think next year, once again, we've got a lot of these fighters are going to be heading into titles next year. We've got an explosion of titles.
It always goes through, doesn't it? You have ones that are, I suppose historically, those that were southern area and those that were underneath. Then some of those southern area didn't go any further. Some did go further and picked up the English. But then you're building the ones at the base layer, and then those ones have now come through to kind of southern area level, and you've got that next lot that you're ready to harvest underneath.
And then you're looking for the English, like Dion Juma now, to push on to the British, and then when we go through the British, then to go on to the international world stage. So it's about managing the levels,
building blocks.
Moving
on, so from here on in, it's the kind of 50-50 fights, and there were some 50-50 fights. Right, let's start with Daryl Church, Dominic Felix.
Dominic Felix ran out a worthy winner, in my opinion. Daryl had been out for a year. It showed. Dominic, though, was performed well and was a deserved winner in that fight. Daryl was not, in my opinion, did not perform to anywhere near the level that he can perform. He's so much better than that, and he'll be back. Yeah. And he's going to put that right and come back. And you know, I think if you perform to your best and you lose, you can accept it. But he didn't perform to his level. But I really respect Dominic Felix, who's a real tough man, and I thought Dominic boxed really well and deserved the win. So it's no take away from Dominic, and I thought he'd done really well. But there's potentially some exciting news for both of them coming for next year.
And let's give additional credit to Dominic on this one, because I sat and watched Curtis Felix Echo Esserman, that we'll come on to in a minute, Curtis being Dominic's brother. And I was doing a commentary on it, and I could see the ring, but then where I'm sat, you can see the ring, and behind it, the ring walk. And I could see Dominic sat on a chair on the stage, kind of all ready, he's in his fight gear, but watching his brother go out and get stopped by Echo Esserman. And so for him to watch that and then have to come out himself and box afterwards,
full credit,
must have been a very hard thing for him to do, to see his brother, you know, get stopped by Echo in a hard fight, but to keep his mindset and be able to go in there and perform like he did, that was full credit to Dominic.
Totally agree.
Cool, an emotional one next. Jamani Camiro, Justin Menzie.
We ended up after round one. Justin took a shot to the nose that busted his nose, and then he decided not to come out, and you can say the rest of the story.
Well, yeah, so he then takes a microphone, stands in the middle of the ring, and I'll be honest, when he took that microphone, I thought, this isn't the right thing to do. I thought, you're probably going to retire here, you're emotional, because of all the thing about his mother dying in the week building up to the fight. I thought, this probably isn't the right thing to do. And you probably, because when you see a fighter take the mic, you know, it doesn't always necessarily end well. But he composed himself. He got on the mic and he gave the most touching speech about how his week had been, how he'd come up to the fight, how he wasn't sure whether he should or he shouldn't take the fight. Took nothing away from the Jamani Camiro work for the round, and explained that look, it's not the end for him. He's going to come back next year, but thank you to everyone who was there. And again, it reflected upon what a man he was to get there and take that and give that that message to his mother who had passed away, and not make the excuse for the fight, but say, look, I came in, I tried, and it didn't work out. Oh man, it was.
I totally agree.
It was a moment. It was a moment.
I totally agree.
And then he came up to me afterwards, Justin, and gave me a big cuddle, and said thank you for the things that we say about him on here. Well, it's not. Don't thank me, Justin. Thank you for those fights you've given us.
He's a proper man, and a real, and he proved he was even more of a man when he took that microphone.
Yep.
And I thought, I've got nothing but respect for Justin Menzies.
Yeah, I'll say it's a little bit. It was emotional, and I still feel emotional now thinking about it, if I'm honest.
Anybody's lost their mind. What he went through, I can't believe he went through with that fight.
Yeah, no, I know, and he didn't embarrass himself. You know, he took the.
He rocked Jamani in the first round.
Yeah. Yeah,
he rocked Jamani. Jamani composed himself, came back, but he was until he got injured or his nose went. He was putting up a great fight. It was a great fight.
Yeah, but no, I say there's no need to thank me, Justin. Thank you for all the fights you've done. I hope you keep fighting into next year, and you said you will, so awesome. And I hope all is well. Next one we'll move on to was actually the end fight of the night, but we'll cover it now. Ryan Walker winning the Southern Area against Peter, and then I can never pronounce Murger on points.
Felt in some areas, it's on social media, people have called it controversial. Ryan got the decision. I haven't watched it back, so I can't give an opinion on how I scored it.
How did you feel at the time?
I thought it was close.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was close. I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. I wasn't sure. You could have, in my opinion, it's really hard when but I don't think it was clear.
No, I agree. And I've seen some people online saying, "Oh, it's bollocks, it's this, it's that, it's corruption." Miles off.
No, it wasn't corruption.
Miles off. It was not corruption. Ian John Lewis, I didn't envy his job of having to score it. It was a cracking fight.
Well, the fight will be up on YouTube. People can watch.
Give us your opinions.
Yeah.
Because personally, I had Peter winning it, but again, it's one of those ones that I can't say it's a robbery. I can't say it's wrong. It's just that's how I had it. So right, moving on from that one, we mentioned it earlier. Echo Esserman taking on Curtis Felix for the English welterweight title.
Well, Curtis, we knew it was a hard ass for Curtis, but he wanted to take on the champion. Echo Esserman's a brilliant fighter,
isn't he? Just
British level minimum.
Yeah.
Great fighter, relentless, TV fighter in the making. I'm astonished he's not got a TV contract so far. I think he's brilliant. I think and dealing with him the day before and on the day, lovely people. His managers, Jimmy Gill's a great guy. Echo and his people with him, fantastic. They deserve all the success, hopefully, they're going to get from this.
Yeah.
Curtis put up a brave fight.
So he went the full 8 rounds.
It wasn't a sustained beat. There were parts of the fight where he had his own way, but Echo was just that bit too good overall, I think it's fair to say. But you've got to say that Curtis put up a brilliant fight.
Yeah.
And he'll win. Curtis Felix wins titles all day long. He's just not against Echo Esserman.
Echo Esserman has a high ceiling of what you can achieve. I don't know what that is, but it's above English.
I'm really looking forward to seeing Echo Esserman's career progression from here.
Yeah. I felt Curtis maybe just didn't have enough in his punches to keep him off. And then as the fight progressed, you could see the energy draining out of him, which was again then credit for going into the 8th round to Curtis. But I love watching him. He's so unorthodox, and the way that he slips in and out of southpaw, you're often not sure what his most comfortable position is. But yeah, I mean, it was, Echo was a level above, and I'm sure Curtis would agree with that. But
Curtis Felix wins titles. We're trying to make the fight with Sam Gilley for a Southern Area title.
That's a fight.
we want that fight. I hope Sam and his people will take up that fight because we're ready, willing and able and very confident of that fight.
Awesome. Right, Liam Dillon, Yusuf Kamari for the vacant super featherweight
What
English
a fight.
title. This was, like the first 2 rounds, just sat, I was meant to be commentating, I was aghast.
What the pace of the fight.
Yeah, like, it was so hard, fast, aggressive. It set the tone immediately. Liam Dillon's like a shark, isn't he? He can only go forwards. He doesn't have a reverse gear about him.
And Yusuf was playing the counters, the shots off the ropes, the uppercuts. But Liam was Liam was throwing probably greater volume. Yusuf was probably more accurate in pieces. More efficient, but the volume was coming from Liam. Probably the crisper punches were coming from Yusuf, but there was volume from Liam.
Yeah.
So it was so difficult for anybody to score. I didn't envy the judges doing it. After the fight, the Yusuf Kamari team felt they'd won it comfortably. Liam Dillon's team thought they'd won it. So you had a situation where both teams felt they won the fight. At ringside, it was fairly divided from the various people at ringside. I know you scored it for Yusuf. I gave up scoring. I didn't score it. I know you scored it for Yusuf, but there was other people who scored it for Liam. It was basically what you liked, what you watched, and so it's how things are scored. So it's how it is. So after the fight, obviously, the both fights teams were calling for the rematch, but I can say that Liam is going to go forward and fight and try and go again. Yusuf's decided that he wants to pursue other avenues rather than go for the rematch, which is perfectly nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So there won't be a rematch.
That's a shame though, because I would love to see that fight again.
But it's not. But it is. Maybe it'll happen down the line for something else, but it won't be happening immediately.
Yeah.
Which is everybody's prerogative. If they don't want, it not be fun. They went through a hard fight, so
yeah.
To want to go for that again would be hard. So I have no issues with that decision. They're both 23 years of age, so that was a war to go through. So it's fine. But I hope to see both fighters do very well, and obviously we'll be talking to all parties concerned to try and sort things out for them over the next week or two.
Liam Dillon reminds me of Jamani Camara. The two of them, not in terms of looks, clearly, because there's a big discrepancy. In terms of pressure fighters that will keep walking you down, keep throwing volumes of punches, and I'm not convinced you could hurt even with a bat, with a gun, with anything. Like, you could throw everything at them, and I think they would just smile at you and keep walking. Terminator-esque. Because there were some uppercuts that Yusuf was throwing that went straight through the guard and would knock him back, knock Liam's head back. And then he would just keep coming forward. Nothing deterred him at all. Now, from where I was, I had it to Yusuf because it looked like more of Liam's work was coming off the guard, coming off the gloves, the arms, and Yusuf's work was a bit crisper and cleaner. But it all depends where you're sat, doesn't it? It's, But just a hell of a fight. Well done, boys, because that was amazing.
Full credit to both.
Amazing. And then the last one on here that I've got was my moment of happiness of the night.
Do you know I ended up with tears in my eyes after this fight?
Did you?
This never happened to me in a boxing ring. I was like in the ring, right? And I looked outside the ring and I saw Linus's girlfriend crying. I saw Linus crying. And even I ended up with tears coming down my eyes because I thought this means so much to me. It was such an unbelievable emotional experience, and for me, and somebody said to me in the ring, "You got tears in your eyes." And I thought it was that emotional.
Yeah, it was amazing. So Linus Udofia won on points, 2 cards to 1 essentially against Tyler Denny. The one was a draw, wasn't it? Which I think was Ian John Lewis.
Yeah.
A fight which I think, and I'm not going to name any names, if I speak of people that I spoke to before the fight, probably thought Linus was going to have an easier night winning than what he did. Tyler Denny fucking turned up on Saturday night. Jesus Christ.
What a fight.
God. If you weren't there, I feel sorry for you. I can only put it like that. Not just because of this fight, because of all the other fights as well. But I have an emotional attachment to Linus. I'll be the first to admit it. I thought he was in trouble at points in the fight. I thought Tyler had him rocked. There were I text Linus Monday, and I said I can't, like, when I say work, I use that in very air quotes because I don't really work, but I can't be there on like official duties next time he's fighting, because all I want to do is like scream, but I'm sat at a little press table next to Tyler's corner and I have to keep my mouth shut, and I'm like, fuck, I was a wreck.
I was ringside.
Yeah, but you can get involved in it and like shout and encourage. I was sat next to Tyler's corner, who were lovely people, by the way.
They are. Yeah.
Brilliant people.
Once again, really good people to deal with.
Yeah.
We've dealt with, even on the side there, going through it, Mark Massow from Peter Merger's team, the Echo Esserman team, Tyler Denny's team. They were just phenomenal people to deal with.
And they were lovely. I was chatting with them after the fight. Really, really nice people, great people. But Jesus.
Do you know what fight I'd love to see down the line? Brad Paul's Tyler Denny.
Yeah. I said that. I was chatting with Tyler's coach, and he was saying, "Oh, we're going to be back here." I said, "Come back here and fight Brad.
Yeah.
Come back here and fight Brad." I would love to see that.
Cool.
God, that would be a war, an all-out war. But yeah, this fight. So yeah, where to start with it? Like, Linus was the aggressor at times, but come the middle of the fight, I thought he's in trouble. He's really in trouble. But he seemed to get a second win, going 8, 9, 10. But Tyler would not be deterred.
The body shots were killing him, and he was crouched over like a crab.
It was that scooped right uppercut into the body. Every single time you'd see Tyler, like, his arse would go out, he would bend over, and yet Linus couldn't find the follow-up shot that would put him down. It's like Tyler's energy reserves kind of, if you gave him 10 seconds, came all the way back up. It's like a computer game character.
Bizarre, wasn't it?
It was like a computer game character where if you don't capitalise on that moment, they recharge. It was mad. I think if Tyler had more pop in his shots, Linus would have been in a lot of trouble as well. There were too many times he was caught clean on the left-hand side. I know his face was a bit swollen after the fight on the left cheekbone. Too many times he caught clean shots there. I think maybe a bigger puncher. Maybe it wouldn't have caused him a problem because he's proven Saturday night he's got a chin on him.
Mm-hmm. But he's English champion after having all that messed about he had a year ago. We sat here, didn't we, and went through it all.
Yeah. The person whose name shall not be mentioned
ever again on here because it was despicable. But it's about what you do to people's careers. Thank God Linus has got karma and he's come through and become the champion. But this is, he would have been further down the line in his career if he hadn't been screwed over.
He would be, and this isn't the ceiling for Linus, is it?
No.
I don't think Linus performed to his best on Saturday night, and that takes nothing away from Tyler whatsoever because he was brilliant. And I think Tyler probably brought out a good version of Linus Udofia, but not the best version of Linus Udofia. Whether that was the occasion, whether that was Tyler, whether it was whatever, I don't know. But I think there's still there's more gears to come out of it.
I agree. Can't wait to see him.
Yeah, but where'd you go with him?
We'll sit down with Linus the week after next. I've got a couple of ideas and what I believe, but I'll discuss it with Linus rather than discuss it on here.
Okay, so I mean,
but he's got a great future ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there's obvious roots of the Commonwealth, the British, etc. But
yeah,
defend the English is, I guess, that's your job, isn't it? Is work out what's financially the best, career-wise the best. He's still only a young man as well.
And also, we want to he's going to be a full-on TV fighter. No doubt about that. So we need to orchestrate that. But it's important. One thing I say about you don't want to be a TV fighter when it's not the right time, place, deal. You know people that float for once and then they never fight. We don't need to go through that. We want to be a TV fighter there to stay for the right reasons, and that's what we're going to do.
Do you know Linus reminds me of when he's in the ring?
God, what are you going to say?
Do you remember the programme Gladiators?
Yeah.
Shadow.
Yeah, I remember Shadow.
He's got those eyes about him that are like so intense. The way he stares through like his opponent all the time. Like to keep that up for 30 minutes. I'm not even sure I could look like that for 30 minutes.
So anybody watching this needs to watch that fight though, don't they?
If you don't go and watch a fight, you're an idiot, frankly. Because I'm going to go back and watch it, and I was there. And I'll probably watch it multiple times.
Yeah, me too.
I couldn't commentate on that.
You didn't do the content.
No.
Jamie Spate do that.
Jamie and Adam did it. I said I can't do it because I'll be a mess. But congratulations, Linus. I don't think I actually said it.
Do you know what? You talk about loyalty in boxing. Linus has shown extreme loyalty to everybody, and I can sit on here and talk about people that I don't think that are the opposite to that, and there's plenty of them I could name, but I don't name them. But Linus is extremely loyal, and I just want the best for him, and I want him to end up going as high, and if not higher than he possibly can. If anybody deserves it, it's him.
Yeah, amazing. Well done, Linus, and Luton's second English champion under yourself. Right, I feel emotional running back through it.
Couldn't it?
What a night. It was honestly brilliant. This weekend, and Desert, Joshua.
Yeah.
I'm ignoring the entire undercard because it's full of drug cheats. I'm not saying all of them are drug cheats. I'm just saying there were too many for my liking. So fuck them. But the Joshua Ruiz fight, how do you see that going?
Well, do you know what we always say, right? We always say that immediate rematches 85% of the time go the same way as the first one, except more conclusive. This is obviously the one that could be different to that. But I think, genuinely, I think this. The Ruiz thing, it's whether he has got the Buster Douglas scenario or whether he's not, where Buster Douglas won the title and then just that was him done. That peaked and he couldn't get it back again. And the question is whether Ruiz has got it back again. My gut feeling is if Ruiz has really has made the effort, and I'm not sure he has, I think he could win again.
We were told that he was going to come in later.
He's not, is he?
Fuck me, he looks like he's been piling it. It looks like he's been celebrating Christmas early, doesn't he?
So to me, if that's the case, then Joshua wins. If Ruiz, I'm not sure. If you've got nothing in life, or not, when I say nothing, he's earned purses, but never crazy purses after taking his taxes and his training. You know, when he fought for the world title in Australia, or when he fought Parker, was it Parker?
Yeah,
Parker. When he fought Parker, New Zealand. When he fought Parker, he wouldn't have got fortunes for that.
Yeah.
So for that Joshua fight, he got a lot of money, and it would have cheese bought him a roller, a brand new house.
Well, that's it. You see the videos of him going around in the Rolls Royce, didn't you, on the back of it?
Now, I think it's hard to get back from that, and therefore I think that's where we are. If he's taken that route, he gets smashed to pieces. If he really has remained hungry, which
looking at him,
but not that sort of hungry, I think he can win. The problem is, I don't think you can be conclusively, like the betting side, it's 2-1 Ruiz or 2-5 Joshua. I don't think you can be conclusive on it because you don't really know in what state these boxers are both turning up in. So I don't think we can make I don't think you can make a prediction on the fight.
No, I agree. I think going in Ruiz's favour this time is that he's had a full training camp. I know last time round he fought, was it Dimitrenko?
Yeah.
Like a few weeks before, and then he had a couple of weeks off, and then he got back at like 3 weeks' notice to fight Joshua. This time he's had that full preparation camp.
But it depends whether he's done the camp.
Yeah. And also, on the flip side of that, last time Joshua was preparing for Miller for 5 weeks of an 8-week camp, and then had 3 weeks to prepare.
Looks like Joshua slimmed down a bit, doesn't it?
God, doesn't he just?
He's
lost some of the shoulder mass, hasn't he?
Yes, he's now coming in quicker because, therefore, I think, he's taken on additional training help.
Yeah.
I think it's it's an interesting fight.
It is. But you would think it'd be naive to try and match speed with Andy Ruiz, because despite his size, he's got incredible hand speed and combination punching. you don't want to match that, but maybe he's trimmed down to get the stamina up to be able to go.
Because that's the point.
Just hit him with a jab for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
You'd be all right.
I'd imagine that's what he's going to try and do. Very similar to what he did against Joseph Parker. I think he's just going to keep him at length, keep him going. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think potentially it could be a great fight.
No, I agree.
So we'll see.
They've got that favourable ref. I can't remember his name, but he doesn't like inside fighting and is quite quick to separate people.
So that you know.
What a shock.
Yeah.
I would get that ref. You would get that ref. That's the kind of management side of it that says give every advantage to your fighter. The right thing to do. 3 new signings this week for Goodwin Boxing.
Yeah, we're busy. So let's talk about the first one, which we signed today, which is Andrei Santa.
That's a mistake, isn't it?
Comes from, no,
there was another getting in Christmas.
He's Romanian, coming from Tottenham, and his name is Santa.
Is it?
So we'll have to have him coming out to Christmas songs every time he fights. No matter if it's in June, he's going to come out to a Christmas song. It's just, it's an amazing name for a boxer.
That is.
I tell you, I've seen some of the footage of him in amateur. My God, might he hits.
Really? What weight are we talking?
We are talking around super featherweight light. I've seen him iron out people cold in the amateurs. He hits like a mule.
As a lightweight as well. You don't get many.
This is a guy. He is like. His style is like Liam Dillon's.
Yeah.
With explosive power.
Right, I'll take back laughing at your name, Andrei. I apologise. It's a great name, and
so I think he's going to be very, very good, and really excited about him. So we're going through the process now of him. Andrei Santa's a name not to forget. We won't forget Santa.
Who's next? Saint Nick.
And we have now signed the boxing twins, Courtney and Lewis Frimpongs, both born on the same day. Both won Southern Area titles as an amateur. Both silver medalists at the Haringey Box Cup.
That's awesome.
And they're both turning pro on exactly the same day, on exactly the same time.
Are they the same weight?
They are 1 weight apart. And they're being trained by Andy Gill in Cheshire. I think is a really, really good, talented trainer who's got Jamie Smith at cruiserweight.
Yeah.
So they're 2 with him. So we're really excited about them. They're going to debut in May. So we're going through the processes now. But we're really delighted to sign both of them. They're really good characters, and there's going to be some exciting times ahead. Decent amateur records, and style to be really good pros. And with a good trainer like Andy behind them, I think we've got some really exciting times to come. So really 3 really great talents that we signed this week. And what's interesting, we've got potentially, I would say, another 3 or 4 signings to come before Christmas that we'll reveal on the first week talk of 2020.
So you've had a quiet couple of months in terms of new signings coming, then you've got
it's like buses, right? Now we've got mountains. We've got another. I've got a new inquiry today. We had one yesterday. We've got, it's very busy. The amount of boxers at the board this week. There were only 7 new boxers up. We had 1, but there were 7 new boxers up in the southern area. So it's quite quiet for them overall. But we've got a lot of applications coming through to the board at the moment, which is great. A lot of exciting new talent to work with. And they can help. These guys are going to enter our champions for sure.
So when are we likely to see Andrei, Courtney and Lewis?
Courtney and Lewis will be May. Andrei could be March.
Okay. Alright, awesome. So keep an eye out for those 3, and you'll see them on Goodwin Boxing shows in 2020.
Absolutely.
Right, so we're going to move on now to my weekly rant, and then following that we're going to have Bailey Donald, who made his debut in 2019. And then Trevor is going to be along with his Trevorism. Then there's the Quickfire quiz, and then it's going to be back to myself and Steve for the betting zone, which has been quickly rehashed. We're going to make it up. Finishing 2019 with the Q&A section. So, on to my weekly rant.
Martin's weekly rant.
Right, my weekly rant. I want to rant about boxers who are way ahead in a fight when they should be putting their foot down and going for stoppage and making a statement. It's one thing I don't like to see is boxers that are cruising through in a 4 or 6 rounder because look, you guys are out there trying to get followers, trying to get sponsors, trying to make headlines in a world of social media memes and short videos and short attention spans. Those highlight reel knockouts and the stoppages are the things that boxers are posting out to their social media. What I want to see more and more from boxing 2020, please give me, is if you're ahead in a fight, I'm not saying take unnecessary risks, but look, try and go for those stoppages, try and go for those wins, rather than just seeing out a comfortable 40-36 win. I'd love to start seeing in 2020 some of those stoppages that can fill up your Instagram stories, can fill up your Twitter feeds, fill up your Facebook pages, and the ones that you can relive, because I think those are the moments that fans live for. And as a boxing fan myself, I would far rather see those hard stoppages of opponents rather than just seeing you cruise through to a 40-36. And please, in 2020, give me a Christmas present, give me that one thing that I'm asking for, which is don't cruise to a 40-36. If you can see an opportunity to put your foot down, go for a stoppage. Please, boxers out there, go for it. There's my rant, right, and we're back with the one to watch, Bailey Donald, trained by Darren Wiseman down in Portsmouth. And credit to Darren because he does a lot of promotion on behalf of Bailey. And I'm not saying Bailey doesn't do it himself, I'm just saying that Darren does it as well as, which is great to see for a trainer. Is he a granddad, Darren?
I don't know, is he?
I'm sure I saw somewhere that it was a granddad.
He looks a bit young to be a granddad.
That's what I thought. Fucking, he's a cool,
He must have started young.
cool and trendy granddad, isn't he?
Yeah.
And if he is, fair play.
Fair play, really.
Yeah, my granddad never looked like that. Anyway, enough about Darren. Bailey Donald.
I was so impressed with his debut. And anybody out there, he's going to fight in Portsmouth in the middle of this month.
Which is a card.
Chris Hitchens runs it. Yeah, Chris Hitchens, great guy, really good, decent bloke down in Portsmouth. And Bailey's on it. Obviously, I can't be there because I'm in New York. But obviously, I've got total confidence it's going to be a great night for Bailey. And I think he's an exceptional talent. He's very young, but my God, this kid's going places. And a brilliant trainer, brilliant team. His dad helps him out, Adrian, and they're just great people. And I think we're going to see great things from him.
And he's only young, isn't he?
He's 18 or 19.
Yeah. And it's impressive that he's going out again so quickly after his debut, because that wasn't long back.
No, but he looked good though, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's he looks like a hell of a especially for the age as well. And I don't like to be condescending in referencing somebody's age, but it is worth noting when somebody's not yet 20 and they made their professional debut and they looked as good as Bailey did. And there's some, I know that Wiseman Gym has churned out some very high level amateurs, isn't they? And so yeah, there's obviously something good going on down there in Portsmouth.
For sure.
Right, but that's enough from us. Bailey's going to tell us more himself. So here he is, Bailey Donald, telling you about his career and what he's up to.
Bailey Donald, I started boxing when I was 10 years old. I started with Goodwin in April. I had my debut on the 21st of September at York Hall. I had a good support with me, jumbled up.
Massive support with you.
Massive, good experience, best experience I've ever had with boxing. Fighting next week down in my hometown Portsmouth. Another good support there coming along.
On the Atlantic show.
Atlantic promotion show at Southsea Clear.
We're going to be making some noise, that's for sure.
Hopefully next year looking to get another 2 to 4 fights in during the year, and then
with no holidays.
No holidays. A Southern area title within the next 2 years, and then see where it goes from then. I'm only young, so it's gradually building my way up and working. Then hopefully one day get an English and British title, and then
work away from the very bottom.
Work our way up to the top, taking it slow. Still young, so working on stuff and practicing the trade.
We just need you, Steve, to officially ban him from any holidays, mate. They're off, right? He keeps going on holiday, we're not allowed holidays, okay? So yeah, so that's us done. It's going to be a great show in Portsmouth. Massive crowd.
Feeling good.
Hopefully another win. Start at the bottom and work our way up to the top.
And there we go, there's Bailey. Wishing him all the best for the fight down in Portsmouth, and I'm sure we're going to smash it, so it doesn't need me telling him. Going from one extreme talent to another, here's the Trevorism.
Trevor Padden's Trevorism.
Are you trying to define Trevor as an extreme talent?
He's one of the extremes. I'm not sure which.
You did chat with Trevor about his Trevorisms on Saturday. And
I did.
A couple of people did in the bar. And
did they chat with him about them?
Yeah, one guy said to him, "I think you're a good-looking guy." I'm not sure whether Trevor exchanged numbers, but yeah. So that's Trevor for you.
We have this week's Trevorism, which is special. So
you know what it is.
I know what it is, so I'm trying not to focus upon it, which will become evident.
Shall I try and say it without laughing? But
so yeah, Trevor Padden's weekly idea.
I want him to do one that we don't laugh at.
He needs to come in and introduce himself as well.
I think we'll have to do that one
with the Irish accent. Oh, he's got a lovely accent, Trevor.
So should we get Trevor to maybe record or try and
voice note
his Trevorism? I think it's far better than me reading it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to get
do like a South Park animation of his face.
Okay, you're going to answer it. I'm going to say it.
How can I justify this? Right.
Okay. Spit or swallow? Why do boxers spit and not swallow? Surely it's easier and cleaner, as I know, to swallow.
So I assume he's talking about in between rounds and not in the daily life, whatever.
No, he's talking in between rounds.
So when the second brings up the bucket and they get that water and they go.
Because he thinks it looks disgusting, and then in the ring sometimes they spit on the ring canvas.
Oh, they do.
And he says it's disgusting to spit on the ring canvas. He thinks they should swallow whatever they got.
Yeah, and you end up with it in the corner as well. And Brooke and I, when we sit down at the table and then we get covered, if not in blood, then in someone's spit when they could swallow. Why do they do? Well, you don't want all that water glugging about in your belly, do you? If you're about to go, think of those right uppercuts into the belly that Linus Shadofia was giving out on Saturday. If you had a belly full of water that you've taken in, you've got to take some in for hydration purposes, don't they? They do swallow some of it.
Do they?
Yeah. There'll be times when they do take it down, but you don't want to. If you think of if you overload on water and then go out for a run or do something physical, then you end up with it glugging about inside your stomach.
The box will be in the middle of a round, he said, and they'll spit in the middle of a round while they're fighting.
I've never seen that.
I haven't seen that. That's what he said they do. I've never seen. He said they gob in the middle of the rounds.
Oh, I've never seen that.
No.
I need to keep an eye out for that then.
Well, just watch. That's what he observed from ringside. That's what he said.
Oh, right. I need to keep an eye out for that.
I don't know why you'd have. Anyway.
I don't know how you could, because your mouth really dries out with that.
And your gum shield in it.
Yeah, with your gum shielded, it really dries out your mouth.
Do you not worry about Trevor?
100%. 100.
Deadly serious. I'm going away with him next week.
You're going on a cruise. You're going to be stuck on a fucking boat with him. I'm worried more for you than for Trevor.
But it's some of his, but they're it's a bit worrying.
You're going to be on a boat with him, innit?
Have you got a message to Trevor?
Trevor is a fantastic person. I have all the time in the world for Trevor, and he wants to go out on the piss again in the new year.
Does he? I will have to do that. We'll have to do that.
But yeah, Trevor is phenomenal. So there's Trevor's Trevorism: is why do they spit and not swallow? Right, enough of the lunacy. We're going to move on. Here comes John Briggs, who is local to me, actually, John.
Yeah, I mean, he's a lovely guy, isn't he? So,
yeah. Oh, he's brilliant. He actually came and saw one of my white collar fights.
Oh, did he?
Not to come and see me, he was there.
He's a great guy. I really like John.
When you were at
yeah.
around there. Guy that knows his boxing as well.
Still don't know why you never turned pro.
What, me?
You.
Actually, I'm 2-0 in the white collar
Exactly.
scene. That make me a fucking area champion in white collar, doesn't it? See enough of these lads with belts. Yeah, John, who knows his boxing, so you're about to find out how he does in the Quickfire quiz. Off we go.
So welcome to the Quickfire quiz. Today we have a man with a wealth of boxing knowledge, boxing writer John Briggs. Now if we look at the leaderboard now, we will see that Shocky Khan is ahead and leading the leaderboard with 2.5. You've got Amakiani and Martin Theobald both on 2, and unfortunately propping up the leaderboard at the bottom is Linus Udofia, who didn't manage to get one right, but I'm very confident that John is not going to score the same as Linus.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we're going to go with the 60-second quickfire, so it's going to be literally limited to 60 seconds. And we're going to kick off now. How many fights did Nicola Adams have as a professional?
6.
Correct. How many first round wins has Anthony Joshua had?
4.
5. How many world title fights has Deontay Wilder had?
12.
11, that was close. Who did Larry Holmes beat to become world heavyweight champion?
Pass.
Ken Norton. Who is the current British lightweight champion?
Pass.
Joe Gordino. Which of the following boxers have not been British heavyweight champions? Scott Gamma, Sam Sexton, Audley Harrison, Michael Sprott.
Gamma.
It's Audley. Who did Tyler Denny lose to for the English title?
Pass.
Reece Cartwright. Who is the current British super middleweight champion?
Pass.
Vacant. How many rounds? That's it, we're out. Scored 1.
Yes.
You're not bottom of the leaderboard. So John Briggs scores 1 point, which means he beats Linus Udofia, so John isn't near the bottom. Do you know what? You were unlucky not to get more.
Yeah, a couple
so
close, just close.
But they're not easy.
No, that's tricky.
They're tricky. Thanks a lot for John for being on this week, and we'll be back next week to see if anybody else can top Shocky Khan.
So there we go, John Briggs, who clearly knows his boxing, turns out worse than the rest of us. Come on, John, I gave you all that massive introduction.
I just don't understand why people aren't scoring 4s, 5s and 6s. It just don't make any sense to me.
We fall apart under the bright lights and yeah.
Next week we've got
We're not here next week.
Or next time we have David Fallon on, who's a boxing manager, and he's doing the quickfire quiz down in Watford, so we'll see how he gets on.
Alright, excellent. So somebody that should know it.
He should know it.
But we've had boxers on, they were shit. We've had me on, I was shit.
Journalists, writers.
We've all been woeful. However,
Ruiz Mahmood, he keeps saying he could answer 5 or 6 every week, but he's not appearing, is he?
I'm not having. He gives it all that, doesn't he? He's
Ruiz Mahmood, get your backside down here.
Keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Right, the betting zone. So you were going to recommend a bet this week.
We were going in with Fabio Wardley to destroy Simon Vanilli. We thought it is a one-sided beatdown and an absolute stone-bonking certainty. But the fight's not happening.
Yeah.
So that was going to be the...
What were the odds on it?
Around about 1 to 4, 2 to 9. I think it should have been. We should have been 1 to 16, 1 to 20. But we'll save that for another day when, if the fight gets remade, and the reason why.
So, I mean, I could guess the reason why. You've got Vanilli coming up, who was unimpressive against Arfan Iqbal at cruiserweight.
Stopped by Craig Glover
at cruiserweight.
Who was then given a good hiding by Chris Billum-Smith. Fabio Wardley's got serious power as a heavyweight. If they make the fight again, I'll bet, and those odds appear again, I'll get on very quickly.
And also, in these scenarios, Fabio Wardley is the matchroom fighter, isn't it? I mean,
correct.
There's a very good reason they've picked Simon Vanilli.
Because they built him up, he's built up he's had some heavyweight wins with KOs against people that aren't very good, but now he meets a proper heavyweight, and it's just, it makes it look good on paper, but it's not competitive.
Yeah. Right, so that's it, unfortunately.
I'm afraid, sorry for the betting zone, we can't nail off with another bit of idea to give you a profit. There's no bet on Joshua Ruiz. The rest of the card holds no interest. The other matchroom fights that we see on the 19th don't hold any interest. So hopefully we'll be back with a really good bang for you next year and get you some good winning tips. So we haven't led you down a losing avenue yet. So we'll be working on that in 2021 for you.
Or if you see any over the festive period, tweet them out.
Tweet them out. Follow my Twitter, and if there's anything I see, I'll tweet.
Any gaps in the market?
Yeah, we'll tweet them
After you've put your money on. You're not going to do it beforehand,
That's
no.
for sure, because the odds go. When I put them up on here, the odds go within about, once I publish it, 2 hours later, all the odds go.
Right, so we're going to move on to the Q&A, the final part of Ring Talk for 2019, sorry.
2019.
I did put 2020 on a tweet and someone pointed out that's
Really
very forward
started,
thinking.
Yeah.
Right, Lee at Last Start. I hope you're doing well, Lee.
Yeah.
I know you were under the knife this year, so I really hope...
He's a good man, he's a good supporter of us, and he's a really good man. I hope to see you at one of the back at the shows again soon. Lee.
Yeah, hope it's all gone well. If you are managing a fighter with VADA testing, do you find out if the other fighter has a TUE, a therapeutic use exemption?
I don't think so, because I've managed fighters at the high level before. We've never been told, but I know some of our fighters have had, some fighters I've been involved with have had TUEs. I don't think anybody gets told.
My guess would be no, because of patient confidentiality.
I'd imagine so. But we've never been told about anybody else's TUE, although I've known fighters that I've dealt with that have had to, we've had to deal with the TUE, we've had to submit the TUEs.
How many of them are real? I don't want any names. So if I give you the context of that question, I listen to lots of podcasts and I have a real vested interest in learning and hearing about stories of drugs in sport, because I think it's a fascinating subject and I think there are too many loopholes and I think there are people that take the piss. One that I was listening to had a doctor for a Tour de France team, and he was talking about TUEs that are issued within Tour de France teams and those cyclists, and he was, whether you take him at face value or whether you think he was lying, up to you, but he was talking about cyclists that are taking part in the Tour de France or any other of the Grand Tours, and he was saying that he will not sign off a TUE for saddle sores. He said it's one of the most common things. Lance Armstrong for years had TUEs for saddle sores. The reason being that you get steroid creams, steroids that you can rub into your body, and then you get the advantages of steroids. Saddle sores are a known issue to go along with cycling. He was saying if you're suffering that badly with saddle sores, you shouldn't be in the Tour de France. So therefore, he wouldn't sign one off for you. And so many people use it as a cover story, essentially, for other issues. That's the context where I was trying to bring it back round to. How many boxers suffer with asthma in the same way that Bradley Wiggins does, Chris Froome does? Fucking, you'd hope your child is born with asthma because it increases their chance of winning a marathon, of winning the 10,000 metres at the Olympics, of winning the Tour de France, because they're phenomenal statistics. Anyway, so I'm on a run.
I can't comment. Do you want me to lose my licenses? I don't know, but I don't know, but I can.
Let me rephrase the question. How hard is it for a boxer to get a TUE? There you go. Right. Daniel Smith.
And I'm not normally stuck for words, but
there's too much stuff you could say that would land.
There is stuff. A TUE is something that is signed off by a doctor and submitted to the drug testers. I just think in general sport, and I'm not talking about boxing, the things that I know of, and I'm not talking boxing now, so leave boxing out of this, things I know about other sports that I know of, my God, it's bad.
Yeah.
And therefore, if it's bad in other sports, why would it not be bad in boxing? Although I have no evidence of it, right? But I'm just saying that.
But I'll say it, I think it's a corrupt system. The
system doesn't work.
If you're saying it's bad for any other sport, say baseball, because fucking it's an obscure British sport, very few people play, although I do know someone on the GB team. If you're a baseball player and you went to a doctor, that same doctor could be used by other sportsmen. In fact, there's a higher likelihood they're going to be used by other sportsmen because they'll be a specialist in some way. I would almost guarantee that there are a number of doctors that will take 150, 200 quid to sign you off a TUE.
Gee, that's a bit of an allegation, isn't it? I'm not saying it's not possible. I mean, I don't know any of that, but...
I'm not naming any doctors, I don't know any. I'm just saying, I bet you that happens.
It's pretty bad if it does.
Yeah, but... I I'm not accusing any. I'm not accusing the General Medical Council. I'm just saying about it happens. Daniel Smith on Twitter. I'll probably get edited out by Josh. Daniel was down at your show on Saturday.
Oh, did he come?
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
He had a great
Did
night.
you enjoy it?
Yeah. And some other lads that listen to other podcasts that came to our live show that we did as well. It was really nice to catch up with people. I love boxing events for that. Just seeing people that you've met through different avenues of boxing.
I'm glad they come Saturday because they've enjoyed a great show.
Yeah, they're the kind of things that again reinvigorate your enjoyment, your love for the sport. Anyway, all right. Daniel Smith with one of the coolest beers I've ever seen. Nice long question to end the year. Really enjoyed Ring Talk this year and have liked it how it has evolved. Have a great Christmas, guys.
Same to you, mate.
Given some of the judging over the last year, could an alternative be a team of 5 to 6 judges that are selected by the board to travel to each show? The team is selected by a computer-generated program, not individuals of the board. Promoters and teams are not informed of the judges until they arrive at the venue. The 3 judges of each fight on the card are then also randomly generated between the selections, so no one knows who the 3 judges are until before the fight starts. So if you had 5, you could have 3 for that one, then 2 of those another one. The board also sends officials, and no team members or promoters can communicate with the judging personnel.
Great idea. It never happened.
Cost?
Cost is definitely one thing. If you take big fights, they're flying people in from all over the world. They're not going to want to fly people in from...
But if you said for English title fights?
So English title fights at the weekend where you're struggling as a promoter to make a fight pay, and a referee might cost one referee at the weekend, I don't remember which one, the cost was £700.
Crikey. How many fights they do? I haven't done every fight.
That was just it was £700. They did 3. And it might be more than £700. So that's and your expenses and stuff on top.
How do they get allocated? Because I was both.
So also some of that is a small hall promoter could never afford to do.
You couldn't afford 5 or 6, knowing that.
I don't think the biggest problems are on a lot of the. Well, like I say, it depends on where it is. I don't want to get corrupt.
How do they get allocated? Because I was both
the board allocate it.
Impressed and surprised. Victor Loughlin was there. Victor Loughlin's Scottish based.
So that it's very expensive to get him down.
So you have to pay for his flights,
hotels. Hotel.
So flights. Even though it would logically make more sense that you would pick up a Bob Williams from Watford, Lee Cook, the local ones, you get allocated Victor Loughlin. You have to pay the flights and.
No, I understand. If it's done for the fact of neutrality, to have 3 Southern area judges where you have a Southern area fighter against a Northern area fighter. But when I took Miles Shinkrin,
it doesn't work the other way.
But when I went up north with Miles Shinkrin, we just got all Northern judges and Northern referees.
However, I've got to say, it did, and whether that's because I'm a bit of a geek or whatever, it added a little bit of pizzazz and kudos, the fact that Victor Loughlin was sat there judging a fight.
I agree, and I don't have a problem with that. I actually don't mind paying extra for Victor Loughlin to come down. It's not on any show I do. Josh didn't care. Nobody cares. And we had Mark Lyson from up north as well. I have no problem with that because it shows more fairness that you haven't got a bunch of judges who know one fight and don't know the other. I think that's difficult. So I have no problem with it. However, if you start to bring 5, the second point is small hall. So I'm going to book hotel rooms without knowing who the people are. How's that going to work? So the board would have to book the hotel rooms and then invoice the promoter for the cost, and then people turn up on. It's the only way of doing it. I think it's a really good idea, but I don't think it will ever happen. I think the bigger problems that we have are on the bigger fights where there's more money involved, and that's where you centrify the bigger outcries. The Callum Smith John Ryder fights, the British title between the one in Scotland at the time before
Cash Farouk and
McGregor.
Lee McGregor.
I think it's a brilliant idea. But somebody's got to fund it.
Because you could run the risk of having 2 or 3 refs or judges that don't get used for the whole night.
Well, they're not going to use, and then they're still going to want all their money. So who's going to pay for this? And I think the biggest problem you've got, let's be honest, if you get a ref that's put up in that's coming to judge a fight, or as a judge, they know who the home fighter is. They know who the away fighter is.
The money fighter.
The money fighter. They know, and trust me, they probably, if they thought there was if somebody's alleging that somebody's doing something wrong, which I'm not saying, but they would probably have a connection with that promoter from 5 years or 6 years or 7 years. They may be matey with them. That's not going to, I don't think it necessarily stops it. I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the answer is, but boxing needs to sort it out, but it probably hasn't sorted it out in the last 20 years. It's always been there. I just think that there's a lot more stuff, there's a lot more visual stuff now, people are more accountable, and it is one of the things. I felt on last Saturday at our show, I felt that the judging was really fair. I didn't feel there was any bias. I think each judge called it exactly as they saw it. Whether you agreed or disagreed with it, there was nothing untoward with the judging. There was no crazy lopsided decisions where you thought, hold on a minute, that can't be justifiable. Do you know what I mean? And I felt that was it. That's how it should be at all fights, and it adds to the night that it was that close. Linus Udofia won a very close fight by a majority decision. You know, it was Yusuf and Liam. You gave it a draw. It was you know, the Ryan Walker Peter Murger. You could call it that way, and I think. I just felt that, and I just felt it was very fair. And when you watch something you think is fair, you might not agree, it's fine. It's when you get the Callum Smith-John Ryder fights, and some of these fights that I've seen up in the north of England, that is the one that makes you sick to your stomach.
And do you know what? I think it's endemic of where it is the sport at present, or certain things that you see within the sport. Every time on the cards, or the fights went to the card, you just kind of stood there thinking, just make it fair.
Yeah, that's what I
just please make it fair. Even if Linus doesn't win, he loses by a point on every card.
Just make it
at least make it fair.
Yeah, and that's what
that's all I'm asking for.
That's what I don't feel we seem to get. And I don't know why. I don't think it's inherently corrupt. I think that there were just. I don't know. There's lots of things we can say about refereeing, and I think judges do their best. But I think sometimes they're caught. You know, I think psychologically sometimes the crowd noise, and I do think judges should sit there and have no sound.
Do you know what I think's an alternative that never? Boxing seems to be stuck in the fucking dark ages at times. Have cameras. Why do you need judges all the time, like sat there? In that you could have a camera sat on each of the four sides of the ring, and then have those streamed off somewhere else to people sat in a room on mute. They don't even have to be in the building, they could be in another building somewhere.
No, I think that's fair. I agree. I don't actually see why they have to be there. I don't think it helps.
Yeah, you can cut the expenses, you can cut the atmosphere, you can just see the fight rather than, and as long as you've got a decent enough camera.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And the promoters would save the money from paying all the costs of dragging people there. They could just put it on. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I say it seems like boxing's scared to think outside of what it's always done at times.
Yeah.
Revolutionise it, someone. But
no, I think it's a really good
using
idea.
Cameras,
that's workable.
Taking away the expense of flying people.
And then what you could do, if you wanted to incorporate that, you could then say that we won't tell you the names of the judges until the night.
Or you have one there and two somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Right, moving on. Before I get myself in trouble. Barry, Sugar Ray Baz on Twitter. What's it really like working with Kevin Campion?
Depends on what day of the week it is.
Well, whether he's been to the gym that morning.
No, whether he's premenstrual or not. He's great most of the time, but you know, Kev, you have these, but you have bad days. So no, he's great. Kev's great. He's brilliant. He's brilliant to work with. Yeah, he's great. You can't. You know, he's always the man that. If there's a problem, he'll go and sort it out. He's really dependable, and you know he's just brilliant.
You would struggle to find another Kev.
You couldn't find another one. He's brilliant.
Because people don't appreciate about what he does. Like,
I think they do.
Not if you turned up on a Saturday night at your call, paid 40 quid to come in.
But the work's been done beforehand.
That's what I say. You wouldn't see the and. It's not just Kev. You've got to give a shout out to Vicky as missus as well, because
there's a lot of work. There's a lot of work that everybody does, including Kev, who gets all the events sorted out, does all the medical stuff, make sure all the boxes are clear, does all the stuff. Then you've got all the other people that put everything together for the show and travel down with they go and do the seats, the dressing rooms, the ticketing. You've got a lot of people. Kev holds together the medicals, the board, the stuff, and that's a job. He's the best at it in the country. There's nobody that does his role better than anybody in the UK.
Agreed. But he's an emotional bastard, isn't he?
Unfortunately, I think
we love you, Kev.
I think he's sort of got. If you actually took his testosterone levels, I think you'd find a lot of female hormones.
I think they're negative.
Yeah.
He's going to chin me when I next see him. We love you, Kev. Ramez Mahmood, final question. We're going to do it as a bit of a summing up of the year, although I appreciate you're probably not going to answer these, we might have to turn them around. But Ramez, shout out to the mathematician. Still the best nickname in boxing.
Best name, buddy. He is one of these. He's a bottle job.
He's ducking.
Bottle job, Ramez. He's ducking.
Yeah. Keyboard warrior.
Keyboard warrior.
Fight of the year on a Goodwin show. What was it?
It's one of the two from last week.
Yeah. Either Tyler Denny Linus or
Liam
Youssef.
I
would actually give it to Liam versus Youssef personally. But again, I think that's close.
For me, the Linus fight, because I don't like watching two guys that I look after fight each other.
Yeah.
So fight of the year was Linus for me. I could get much more emotionally involved in that, whereas the other fight was hard to watch because both guys are great.
Fighter of the year.
I'm definitely not going to answer that because it's all opinionated. I mean, when we did Fighter of the Year at our boxing awards, that was won by Brad Pauls, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Brad Pauls was voted by all of the other boxers as Fighter of the Year, and a win and a success of the Southern Area with 2 stoppages is huge.
Who am I to overrule that?
You've also got Linus Udofian now become English champion, Kay Prosper.
Waddy won the Commonwealth in 2019.
You've got. He won an 18, didn't he?
Did he?
He won an 18.
Okay.
So for this particular calendar year, I think you have to, and then you've got to also say Dion, but he hasn't actually fought at the level yet. Once he fights Sam Hyde and beats him, that's a different level.
Yeah.
But I think you'd have to split it between Brad.
There's one that you're missing as well. Kay.
I said Kay.
Oh, did you? Sorry.
Kay, Linus, Brad, the 3 of them are the standouts for this year. I think they have to be.
Did you know what they've all got in common? I've sparred all of them. So I've helped get them to that level.
Them. And there's a lot of other fighters like Dion and all that have done brilliant.
Dean Richardson's done brilliant.
Dean Richardson again, he's done fantastic. He's won his title. But he this year he beat the others, like Brad's defended it, Linus and Kay have gone English. So you could go through them in order and put them in. Dean next year I think will be probably one of one of the fighters of the year, because I think Dean next year is gonna be a breakout year.
Yeah. Upset / shock of the year.
You told me what that is.
I've told you what I think it is.
Yeah.
Jamani Camiro beating Adrian Martin. To me, that was because Jamani took it late. He came up from a lighter weight. And he gave Adrian a hell of a hard time. But Jamani would give anyone a hard time. Jamani could walk in to fucking Saudi Arabia on Saturday as a last minute replacement and give Anthony Joshua a hard time. He'd walk him down, stand him up in the corner, make him work for 12 rounds. But yeah, that fight against Adrian Martin was a great fight, those two.
And I've got to say, talking about Jamani and Adrian, they're both in for great 2020s. Adrian fights Sean Robinson in the English Eliminator on the 21st of March. Great fight. And Jamani is going to be back in title contention next year, and I can't wait to see him. I think Jamani is going to. Now we've been able to stop him doing the journeyman route for the time being, and he's been fighting welterweight champions and going by a point and stuff like that. Going back to his natural weight, much lighter, super lightweight. I think he's a handful for everybody.
Jamani's one of my favourite people in boxing.
He could win a high level fight, you know.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And I love his team. Sean Els, if you're watching, fucking what a man. He's had a great year as well, and he personally, so good man. Best moment of the year.
Okay, has to be the Linus Udofia fight because it reduced me to tears.
Yeah.
So I've got to say that because it's the only time The only time I had tears in my eyes in a boxing ring.
Can I pick out 3?
You pick out 3.
That one.
Yeah.
K Prosper beating Sam O'Maison in the rematch after
Unbelievable.
20 horrific rounds between the two of them.
I agree.
And Justin
Definitely.
Menzies picking up the microphone Saturday night and giving that speech
Yeah.
to his mum and explaining the hardships he's had in the build-up. Those 3 for me were
Highlights.
Yeah.
I think it's been the year as a whole. How do you summarise the year that we've had? And not your dislike of boxing, but Goodwin boxing.
No.
Goodwin boxing. So how do you summarise?
If it wasn't
the
for
year?
Goodwin boxing, I wouldn't be watching the sport at the moment, if I'm perfectly honest.
Oh really?
Yeah. Well, I'd probably watch the odd mega
Kind of
fight.
comedy.
Yeah, I'd watch the odd mega fight.
Yeah.
I'd watch Joshua Saturday night.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be watching 95% of the sport. I think you've had where are we at? B- year. I was going to scorecard it. I think it's just incredible progress. Again, I always reference it back to that Johnny Garton moment of picking up the English title. That's your first English title holder. And now you look at your stable, and it's those building blocks we referenced earlier. It started with the Southern Areas, moved on with Johnny picking up the English. Now you've got multiple English title holders, and it moves on. You've had Frank Buglioni in the meantime.
British.
Yeah,
Wadley
British,
Commonwealth.
Wadley Commonwealth, but that solid base is what I'm talking about, rather than the outliers, but actually the solid bases. They're all building steadily, and then those ones will move up in time, and hopefully, some of those will filter through to the British level, and then more and more that wider base at the bottom of the Southern area move up. So yeah, I think
It's been a good year. It's been a good solid year, and I actually think even better next year.
Yeah, there's a potential. It's massive, massive. Right, we're done.
And thank you for everything, Martin, this year.
It's alright, I'll just
Top
turn up
man.
here, chat boxing.
It's alright, it's all good.
Thank you for watching and listening and being part and interacting and turning up at shows and buying tickets off boxers and all that stuff that goes along with it.
Yeah,
Giving
so-
your time.
Well, thanks for all you watching, and really hope everybody has a great Christmas and New Year, and we'll be back at the beginning of January, getting ready to roll again.
Awesome. Right, have a lovely Christmas, lovely New Year, and we'll see you in the New Year. Bye bye.